Good afternoon there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talladega, Alabama. Gonna be a bad race tonight, and we're gonna have some fast racing tonight. And it's Tim McBurry in the booth alongside me, Ryan Gobble. How you doing, Robin? Ryan?
I'm doing great here. Looking forward to one of the most exciting races that everyone looks forward to on the season. It's the Talladega Superspeedway for a 90-lap race here tonight. We know we're going to see the big one. It's just a question of when and where on the racetrack are we going to see this happen. It's not if, it's when. And just got done with qualifying, which out of all tracks over the course of the season, Talladega is probably the number one on the list of tracks where qualifying doesn't matter. But either way, Dylan Mirando is on the pole here. Chase driver, number 27 car. He's tied for second in points right now, only 1 point behind point leader Edward Morris here with only 4 races left in the season. He's on the pole, Dylan Mirando. Darren Clement is second. He is fifth in points coming in this race. Then we have Donnie Lee starting in third. Josiah Strauss is fourth. Jake Clarkson is fifth. Cody Fabianic is in sixth. Scott Brooks is seventh. Mason Smith is in eighth. Ninth is Andrew Mraz. Running at the top 10 for qualifying, Don Kidder. 11th will be Tommy Macy in the number 05 machine. Then it's going to be Brandon Ketchum in the 41 starting 12th. Edward Morris, points leader, will start 13th alongside him. 14th, Michael Thwaites. Last week's winner dominating the road course of Watkins Glen, leading all but one lap. Davey Hendricks, he'll start 15th. 16th is Brandon Fries. 17th, Jerry Glenn. 18th, John Gonzalez. 19th, Eric Driggins. And rounding out the top 20 will be Nicholas Vroman in the 3 car, who is fourth in points and one of the favorites to win the championship. And then outside of him, these are the guys that did not make a qualifying time. We've got Justin Walters in the 46, the 11 Ken Ladd, the 44 Adam Novak, and the 71 of Jason Edmonston. So looks like we've got a 24 car field or so here tonight. Qualifying, like I said, it won't make a huge difference because the whole field will get shaken up within one lap when we see that big crash.
You're right there, Ryan. As usual, it's Tim McBurry in the booth in the OSRN network booth, and we are here for Extreme Motorsports99.com tonight. K&N Series there. Ryan, I believe we're going to see a fast run tonight.
Yeah, this is the fastest of all the racetracks that we run here in this series, and it's really the fastest of all the racetracks in all of the United States of America here, Talladega Superspeedway. They're going to be running 200 plus mile an hour all the way around this racetrack, and it's going to put on a great show. And depending on how many green flag laps we get in, it'll be a pretty quick race here, 90 laps, about half the distance of the real life race here at Talladega. And we'll be seeing lots of pit stops too because of needs of fuel and whatnot. Maybe you see it under green, maybe under caution, depending on how many we have. But tires are not very important. That's one thing. But they will, for sure, need fuel in these race cars here.
Yes, they will. And as you said it there, it's the world's fastest speedway. And it's right here in my home state. I'm 50 miles from it. And I've been up there a bunch of times. This is a wonderful track right here, Ryan. You don't have to worry about your tires that much. It's going to be fuel at the end. And you can run, ain't about 75 laps on tires if you want to.
Yeah, if you really want to, you could probably run the whole race on one set, but I feel like if you went all the way that far that you'd maybe get a little loose or something. But speaking of location, you said you're pretty close to Talladega. You've been there a bunch of times. I'm from up here just outside of Boston, Mass. I have been to Talladega once, but it's far away from me. I went there back in 2009. It was the wild race where Brad Keselowski got his first career Cup Series win when Carl Edwards went soaring into the catch fence. We might see a fantastic finish like that play out here tonight. Certainly a good chance.
Yes, it is. And like you said, I have been there a bunch of times up at Talladega, man. It's a great place to be up there when the race is going on. Hang on. All right. It's a great track. I mean, It is huge. 2.66 miles there, Ryan.
Yeah, it is biggest oval track in this great country here, and biggest track that NASCAR races on, and certainly going to be a good show here tonight. It is a very exciting race. Every time we come here, we just saw the Real Life Cup Series race here last weekend. Yesterday, actually, won by Eric Almirola. That was a wild race, and there's a bit of a fuel mileage race there when it came down to the end, and we might see that here tonight. Fuel's a big factor. They only run half tank of gas. They only run a 9-gallon gas tank here in these cars just to make things interesting because they do run half-distance races. Why not have half distance on fuel? So might be a good race here on fuel, too.
I believe it's going to come down to fuel. I promise you, I believe it is.
I would certainly not be surprised at the least if we saw it come down to some fuel saving.
Yep, it's about time to grid them up.
Yes, sir. We got about another 40 seconds or so till cars hit the grid here.
I'm going to say hello to everybody in the chat. Good evening to y'all. I hope y'all have a good time tonight. Hello, everybody. Pat, Brandon, everybody. We buckling up to get ready to go racing. Is everything sounding good out there? Can anybody tell me how it sounds? Is it sounding pretty good? Well, here we go, Bubba.
Cars are just now hitting the grid. So they get 2 minutes to grid and then one long pace lap around this 2.66 mile super speedway Talladega. The slowest lap they will do all races, this first opening pace lap.
Yeah, it takes 2 good laps to get up to full speed. When they come around that second time, buddy, they'll be hooning.
Oh, yes, they will.
I don't drink, Gillen. Maybe I'm not close enough to my mic. There's some pretty cars out there tonight.
Yes, there is some pretty good looking cars, some different paint schemes on some cars. I'm looking at a good looking Mountain Dew car. Looks like Chase Elliott kind of car there. That's the 13 of Fabianic there. The Mountain Dew machine starting 6 here.
Thank you, Pat. Does everything look all right? Can y'all see good? I got to get it right here. Boy, them motors sound good.
Yes, they do. It's a lot of power here that's going to be following this pace car on the opening pace lap.
Base bar. Oh, I see what you're talking about now. Well, we're rolling. We'll find out here in just a minute, won't we?
We will, coming out of turn 2 down the Alabama Gang super stretch. is the name of this straightaway here. Field following the Ford Mustang pace car down the back straightaway at Talladega. Getting ready to turn them loose.
And
this is actually the last race. Sorry, Tim, but this is actually the last race on a track bigger than 1.25 miles. The next 3 races are all on basically short tracks, I guess you could call them. Gateway Motorsports Park is next week at the 1.25 mile egg-shaped oval. That's a very unique, short, flat track. Then after that, a track that's very similar to that, another flat track, is the 1 mile Speedway of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That will be a great race there. And after that, the season finale is at Dover and Dover International Raceway. That will be the season finale, and that's the high-banked 1 mile track. But this is the last big track race of the season, and whoever runs well on short tracks will prevail for the next 3 weeks.
Yes, it will there, Ryan. And like you said, they have got a couple of flat tracks on in front of them. I'm telling you. I like them flat tracks. I've raced them a lot, and I like them.
Yeah, they're very fun. They're challenging, to say the least.
For real.
And they'll be very exciting, though, because the more challenging tracks put on better shows. But the pace car has dove in, and Dylan Miranda is going to take the field to the green flag here down the tri-oval towards the start-finish line here outside the tri-oval and into turn number 1. Dylan Miranda leads the field up to speed down through turn numbers 1 and 2. And Dylan Miranda clear over Darren Clement down through turns 1 and 2 and out of turn 2 and down the Alabama Gang super stretch. And it is Dylan Miranda and Darren Clement side by side down the back straightaway here. Clement's got help from the 14 car of Josiah Strauss, and Darren Clement with help from Josiah Strauss is clear, and so is Strauss out of turn number 2. And man, you're going to see that a lot here tonight. That top line, that second groove, seems to always be the faster one as long as you have some help behind you. And man, Darren Clement and Josiah Strauss have shot out to an early lead. And now, man, they are just leaving that 27 to Dylan Miranda out to dry in the 27 car, as Darren Clement is going to lead the first lap after starting second here at Talladega. And the 5 car of Jake Clement with help from Andrew Mraz rocketing out to the front here on the outside.
Wow,
Andrew Mraz is already going to turn him. Mraz and Clement around, and there's more cars piling into this one. I see at least 2 more cars involved. Michael Thwaites and Brandon Fries, and getting regular Talladega party here started early, and that's the last thing you could do. I saw it coming before it even happened. Andrew Mraz tried pushing Jake Larson in turn 1, and that's the last thing you're supposed to do here. Number 1 rule of racing K&N cars at Talladega: do not push in the corners. And Andrew Mraz, he pushed in the corners, to say the least, and yeah, he took out that 5 car up in turn 1, and nothing Jake Clarkson can do there. He was holding his line just fine, and Mraz moved down and then back up a little bit and just bumped him in the left rear, and nothing he could have done there. Around those 2 went, and then a couple cars piled in there on the checkup was the Thwaites machine number 12 and the 29 of Brandon Fries were caught up in the checkup after the spin in front of him. It was actually the 7 of Edward Morris that really slammed the 29 of Brandon Fries in the checkup, and that's a big deal. That 7 car's hurt there on the nose, and nose damage here at Talladega and engine damage, that's the worst kind of damage you could possibly have, and that 7 car's really hurt, and if he is really hurt and has to use a fast repair already, that's bad. Bad news for Edward Morris, the current points leader.
It is for Edward Morris. He wasn't looking to that. I mean, who started that?
It was started with the 21 of Mraz running second, turn Jake Clarkson coming into turn 1, and it went on from there. Darren Clement was innocent with nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and the stack-up got Morris involved, along with the 12 car of Michael Thwaites and the 29 of Brandon Fries.
Wow.
Well, it didn't take very long, and the whole field, or most of the field at least, is just going to come down to pit road for fuel and tires, because track position means next to nothing here, so Everyone's going to come on down pit road, take some tires, maybe some fuel, fill her up.
They filling it up, ain't they? That pit road, who's going to win the pit road? They better hurry, because there he comes.
Yeah, it looks like Don Kidder is going to be the first one out. He must have just taken fuel here, something, but Justin Walters, Brandon Ketchum, and Jason Edmonston stayed out. They are the top three right now. Brandon Ketchum is the current leader in the 41 car.
Brandon didn't come in, did he?
He did not. The top three cars stayed out.
I don't think we got any fast repairs tonight, Pat.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we do or don't. But if we don't, that could be the 7 car, his night in jeopardy already.
I seen that one in sitting in pit road there. He was jacking it up, get tires on, but he had a bunged up front end, and that ain't good here.
No, all it takes is a little bit of damage at this track to be out of the running. Especially when that damage is nose damage and engine damage. If you're running down on power here at Talladega, you might as well pull over and quit, because you aren't going to win this race. But he's got to hang on to it with what he's got, because he is main championship contender here tonight.
You see, I tried to refresh it, just then it put me inside the car. Hang on a minute. How come it's putting me inside the car when I try to refresh that paint?
So Andrew Mraz just received the EOL penalty for the cause of the caution, so he'll be starting at the tail end of the field, which is a field of 23 cars here tonight.
Yep. All right, Brandon, I'm looking at your car. That's a pretty car right there, buddy. You see that? Ryan?
Yeah, it is a good-looking car there, Brandon Ketchum's car, and it's especially good-looking when it's the first car in line here, getting ready for the restart.
Oh, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, that's his favorite kind of looking car, is a front-running car of his own.
I like that color, though. That's pretty.
It is a good-looking car.
Nice looking there, Brandon. There'll be a couple of laps or so before they go back to racing there. Talladega and Daytona's a long track.
Yeah, it does make the pace laps annoyingly long, I guess you could say. Running around the track here doing 70 mile an hour behind the pace car, doing a couple of caution laps is never fun. That's why we always hope for clean races here, especially at the bigger tracks, because, well, they'll get through them quicker, and we want to see more green flag racing, more exciting racing, and less pacing. You know, it's more exciting seeing the cars flying around the track side by side without crashing.
That's right. I want to say hello there to Sim's Speed Shop there. Ryan, they got all kinds of iRacing equipment, hand brakes, you name it, they got it. Button boxes.
Yes, they do.
They got everything you need.
Yeah, they certainly do have some awesome equipment on there. We mentioned it last week. They got some cool hand brakes, button boxes, everything. Cool equipment. Their website there.
And then some good guys too there, Ryan.
Yes, they are. We should be taking one to green this time by the line. And we'll be doubling them up with Brandon Ketchum and Don Kidder in the front row.
I heard that.
I think Don Kidder just came down pit road to top off on gas.
Officials say he gone, ain't
he? Yeah, not a bad decision on his part, because starting in the front and getting caught up in a wreck versus having more fuel and being in the back and out of harm's way, not a bad call. So put Donnie Lee on the outside front row in the 88 car.
We got some of the guys that's been running in the back up there. Tommy Macy's up there in 5th place.
Yeah, Tommy's up there in the 05 machine. Pole sitter Dylan Mirando back to 4th position right now. We'll see what he can do. Certainly hoping for a clean night, of course, because he needs to have really good points run here for the championship. Now that the 7 car of Edward Morris is having a bad run so far, that could be a difference maker for a lot of these guys looking for a championship, because he's the favorite to win it all, and if he has one bad night, it could put him outside looking in.
Good Lord, I can't see him in the top 20.
He is right now dead last, 23rd. Actually, he's a lap down right now in the lucky dog position.
Wow. That is a sharp car right there, Pat. It looks like we're going to go back racing there. Go ahead and call it there, Bubba.
Yeah, we're getting ready, coming through 3 and 4 here, getting ready for the green here. Field led by the guy who led the point standings throughout most of the regular season. That's Brandon Ketchum in the 41. One of the most consistent drivers on the season is Brandon Ketchum. Out of the 11 starts he's had this season, he's had a whopping 9 top 10s. So very consistent. Only finished out of the top 10 twice, but he's been one of the best drivers on the season so far, easily, and he's leading the field to the green flag here. Green flag is out for Brandon Ketchum in the 41 machine. He leads the field down into turn number 1, and Brandon Ketchum is clear with the 13 of Cody Fabianic right behind him, trying to clear Donnie Lee through 1 and 2.
Boy, he didn't take no time to get out of there, did he?
No, he did not. He's got Fabianic right behind him in that Mountain Dew number 13 machine. He's going to get right in behind that 41 car, and you can push him down the straightaway all you want. That's safe game right there, as long as you hit him fairly square and don't turn him around. That's clean stuff, but you hit someone in the corners, that's different. You see Dylan Mirando there in the 27. He pulled off to the apron coming into turn 3. I think that's a strategy call on his part. Just doesn't want to be caught up in any accidents. He's just pulling over, just getting out of everyone's way, falling back. Maybe he's got some teammates there that might be joining him in the back of the field, just trying to stay out of accidents. Also, Jake Watson just came down pit road. I think these guys are all just playing it safe after seeing that early caution, that early crash. They just kind of want to make it through the early to mid stages of this race without any issues.
But I'll tell you what, they was dancing around there, start wheel there. I thought they'd go have another one there.
Yeah, it got sketchy, but we actually got the field pretty strung out right now. Single file line, looks like first through about 7th, and then there's 3 other stragglers that might try to catch back up, so about 10-car breakaway. Then behind that, there's another group that has filed out from 11th on back, and they made their own group. So, man, this racing actually calmed down fairly fast, and these guys they're using their heads, and they're looking for some clean racing now, as that second group is led by Eric Driggins in the 42 car, and the first group is led by race leader Brandon Ketchum there in the 41. But you'd think they'd be safe running like this, but running like this is just as dangerous as side-by-side, because most crashes are caused, like we saw earlier, by one car getting to the back of another and turning them around in the corners or even on the straightaways. And with everyone lined up nose to tail, people are doing a lot of checking up, and that is when it gets scary there, is when people get in the back of each other.
Boy, I'm telling you, look at that right there. Oh, are they dancing around?
Yeah, they do move up. Some guys are trying to make moves, which I'm not sure why you'd make a move right now, but Tommy Amacy's moving to the top right now, but he's got no help all the way back towards the middle of the field there, middle of that group. Yeah, I think that's Brandon Fry's up on the top too, but Amacy's going to have no help. He's going to fall fairly far back there. Brandon Fry's, who we saw crash earlier, he's back in it here in the 29 car. Still up in the top 10. That shows you how fast you can get up to the front. If you want to get to the front here early, especially, all you got to do is have the thought process and just pass the guys that don't want to be in the front. And these guys that want to be in the front, you can see who they are because they're the 10 cars that have broken away from the rest of the field here down into turn 3.
That's right. Well, did you say that 13 was a Mountain Dew car?
Yeah, I might be seeing a different paint scheme as you. I don't know. My trading paints might be slower. I don't know if you're seeing the same one or not.
Well, I don't see Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I'll refresh my paints. Mine might be wrong or vice versa. Not sure, but to me, that 13's a pretty looking Mountain Dew car. But either way, he's still in the same spot on the racetrack, so.
It might be mine.
So we got these leaders are catching up to lap traffic right now. Somebody's up there toward the top of the track getting ready to go a lap down. That is Jake Clarkson in the 5. We saw him come down pit road on that restart. And what that shakes up is Jake Clarkson, when he goes a lap down, he will be the first car 1 lap down instead of Edward Morris in the 7 car, who at the moment is the first car lap down until Brandon Ketchum right now. He's going to get around that 5 car without any issue as Jake Clarkson stays up glued against that wall in the 5 car.
Yep, that'll put him a lap down right there.
So now if we do have a caution, it is Jake Clarkson in the 5 car that is the lucky dog and not the 7. But we got battling for the lead now. 13 car just made a move up toward the top because he's got some people coming in. It looks like they're going to abandon him maybe and go to the top 3 wide.
Oh, they left him out to dry, didn't they? Let's see, that's Cody Fabiak, ain't it?
Yeah, then the 13 car there.
How you say that, Fabiak?
I say Fabianic, but that could be wrong. As look at the 7 car right here, Edward Morris getting ready to go another lap down. Now the 7's 2 laps down as they're 3 wide here up in the top group. Getting real sketchy here, guys, nose to tail through the corner. On the top is the 13 of Fabianic there, getting the push from Josiah Strauss out of turn number 2. And that 41 car Ketchum has nobody immediately to his back bumper. I think he might lose this spot here coming down the back straightaway into turn 3.
Oh.
Fabianic is clear into turn 3.
Look at that one right there with the back end of it smashed all up.
Yeah, he's been getting pushed up quite a bit, it looks like. And 14 of Josiah Strauss and the 29 of Brandon Fries right now, nose to tail, are the last 2 guys up there on the top of the track. All the way back to Tommy and Macy, who's at the tail end of this group. But man, look at that move by Brandon Ketchum. He wants that lead back. He just dropped right up to the top of the track. And Fabianic has no help all the way back to the 88 of Donnie Lee. And the 41's going to get the run on exit here. Man, what a squeeze by Brandon Fries. He's going to try to get back down to the bottom. Now put Brandon Ketchum back fairly clear of the lead. And now that leaves Josiah Strauss out to dry on the top line. He's got a couple guys now as Brandon Fries jumping to the top there, trying to help him out. He's got Brandon Fries, Darren Clement, some guys up there toward the top. But Brandon Ketchum and Cody Fabianic hold out in the top 2 spots as they did at the start of this run here. Those 2 run 1-2.
It's too early to be doing that right now. I don't understand why they're doing all that right now.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of passing and moving around just then. And there's only 10 cars in this lead group. The difference between 1st and 10th is really nothing when it comes to racing here at Talladega. You can change that real quick. And here goes Fabianic to the top again with Donnie Lee behind him, but I don't know if that's going to work here. Josiah Strauss quickly fills the gap there behind Brandon Ketchum.
That's the bottom line, the place to be right now.
Yeah, they can get to the lead on the top when they have help, but right now they've got so many cars down there tucked in on the bottom line. Man, I think they're going to be faster. Scott Brooks kind of washed up there a little bit with Donnie Lee on his outside, but no harm, no foul. He was clear to do so, and that top line is going to struggle right now unless they can get some more help, because there's only two of them, and if they don't get help anytime soon, they're going to go straight to the back of the field in no time.
They will, too. I guarantee they will. Them back runners.
While this group battles, the second group of cars is remaining single file freight train line against that yellow line on the bottom. But man, Fabianic, he's actually going to be able to take the lead and clear Ketchum just with one car helping. That really shows you how strong that top line is. Two cars beat the train of about 7 on the bottom. And now Donnie Lee's going to jump up to try to help Ketchum on the top.
He's got a damage to his car too. Donnie Lee has.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of beating and banging, and now Ketchum on the top with help from Lee's trying to make a pass, and he's the 13 and the 41 have been leading a lot of laps here tonight. Those two have been going back and forth. Ketchum actually led to the line that time, but it's really been the 13 and the 41 1-2 all race. Donnie Lee, Josiah Strauss have been close, but haven't been able to make the pass yet for the lead.
You know, I might be mistaken there, Ryan. That might be his paint job I'm looking at. I think it is. I don't think the 88's got no damage.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think so either. His car looks pretty clean, but all this pushing and beating and banging, that's that product of the aggressive racing at Talladega. As Ketchum, he could have cleared almost there. The 13 coming down to turn 1. He's got help from Fries and Lee. And he is clear almost right now coming into turn 3. It's close.
I tried.
He's got him.
I thought.
Yeah, Ketchum's got him clear right there into turn 3. And actually coming out of turn 4, I'm seeing out there in the distance, coming up to lap him and put him 3 laps down, is Edward Morris in the 7 car.
I refreshed it then, Gillen.
So Edward Morris in the 7 machine just went another lap down. As Cody Fabianic is actually going to lead that lap on the top. Donnie Lee, he almost tried making a 3rd line there for a second, but he's going to come back down into that 2nd line. But man, points leader Edward Morris, 3 laps down, dead last right now. After that early race accident, points leader coming into this event.
That ain't good here at Talladega.
It is not, and we are coming in this time as we have Ketchum and Fabianic side by side down out of turn number 4 for the lead. They're coming to complete the 19th lap here, coming to start lap 20. Still got 71 laps remaining here at Talladega Superspeedway. Long ways to go, and man, they've been nose to nose at the line every time by between the 41 and the 13. Fabianic and Ketchum. Fabianic had it by a nose that time.
There's about 15 cars right there, but there's several of them laps down, ain't it?
Yeah, the 7 car just went 3 down. He's not in the lead group there, but he's way off the pace with all that damage. But Edward Morris is really struggling.
Yes, he is. I hate to see that because he's a good driver.
Yeah, he's certainly not someone deserving of a bad run, but unfortunately in the chase here, these 5 races, you don't get any drop weeks. And one bad race, which Edward Morris is having right now, and that could completely ruin your chance at the championship. And if he finishes where he is now, it's going to be really tough. Oh, trouble. There they go. That came out of nowhere. Donnie Lee crashes down to the infield grass. That car springboarded off of the outside safer barrier and immediately shot down into the grass in the infield. He is currently sitting still in the infield grass. No caution yet for the 88 machine of Donnie Lee, who is still sitting still down there in turn 1. But he came up across the nose of somebody, and that car went head-on in the wall, springboarded off, and went right down in the grass. No caution came out for that wreck, and he just reset and is getting a tow to the pits, but Donnie Lee, his car is killed, and he's going to have a few minute worth of towing time and more than a few minutes of repair time on that 88 machine. That wreck has taken him out of this.
Tore him
Just
up.
like that, in a heartbeat, that car is destroyed.
Yes, it did. I seen him when he hit, man. He tore that car up.
Yeah, that was very hard contact in that 88 machine. Which, that is huge for Edward Morris. That's a free position, which he should easily be able to pass the 88. And here come green flag pit stops. This time, Brandon Ketchum's on his way in, and so is Josiah Strauss, as Ketchum completely locks up the tires. And what you don't want to do here for green flag pit stops is lock up those tires so bad, because you try to have as quick a stop as you can and take no tires, but if you lock them up like that, you're going to flat spot and ruin your tires. And Ketchum overdrove his pit box, too, on those worn-out, flat-spotted tires.
That ain't good.
We're going to see how these four guys race out of the pits, if they'll stay all in a group or not. Looks like Ketchum's going to come out first, and he's all alone. He has no drafting help around him. He took, I think, no tires. And Darren Clement took tires along with Strauss and a few other guys, and now we've got more cars coming in. The rest of this lead group, minus Tommy Amacy, I believe, is in the pits. And everybody's getting down clean so far.
Darren Clements come out second, didn't he?
He did. He came out second behind the 41, who took no tires, who is way ahead of the game here. That's Brandon Ketchum. But because he's so far ahead, he's got no drafting help, and he is running some really slow lap times all by himself. So his cars come around again here. I'm watching to make sure, because one hot spot for accidents is the pit entry. Is a very, very sketchy spot to be. And Eric Driggins is the current leader as they come back down to pit road again. Couple guys might be taken. No, looks like most guys still staying out. That second group, looks like they're going to go a few more laps here. They might have come in later under that caution. We know the car with the most fuel is Don Kidder, because he came down pit road with 1 lap to green, actually, as they came to the green flag in the 03 car with 1 to green. He came in and topped off, so he's got the most fuel. He's got all the decisions in the world, really. He can go as far as he wants as that lead group around the top comes around some of the guys that are coming out of the pits.
There go the leaders around him.
Yeah, I'm watching Don Kidder right now in the number 03 machine. Yeah, he's going to lead them down pit road. Here comes a huge group of them. Guys stomping on the brakes, trying not to hit any of each other, and they all beautifully make their way down pit road. No major lockups. And good job by everybody there to make pit stops. There's only a couple of guys left, but that was the biggest group of cars we've seen come down together, and they made it through clean.
There they are.
Brandon Ketchum, Cody Fabianic, and Mason Smith are in a group of 3. And I think they are the first 3 cars of those who have already made pit stops to be together there. And this huge group that just came in, that huge group is now coming out together with Driggins, Mirando, Mraz. We got Amacy in that group. Jake Clarkson's in that group. Davey Hendricks is in that group. And they're on their way out as Ketchum and company is making their way around to catch them. They're coming through 1 and 2 right now, Brandon Ketchum, and these guys are going to be all in one big group right now. Those cars that just came in just merged right up on the track, right where Ketchum and Fabianic and Mason Smith all run together. So that's going to group up the field just as they were before they came in, and they're going to be 3 wide for the lead here with Mason Smith and Fabianic. They had the run. They were already on the racetrack, and give the lead to Mason Smith as Fabianic is right up behind him. Dylan Mirando is going to end up 4th there with Eric Driggins and Andrew Mraz all together, Macy. And there's one more group on their way out of the pits. That was a group that was running further toward the back of the field. They're being passed right now by the leaders as they exit pit road down there towards turn number 1.
Look at Brandon. Oh, he's trying to challenge them, both of them by himself.
Yeah, he is. He's got no help right now as the field is still going to take a little while for everybody that's in the draft to kind of clump back up together in one big group.
He's doing a good job staying right there by himself. There he goes. He's going to get in now.
Yeah, Ketchum fell back in line there in third with Dylan Miranda right behind him, but Fabianic and Mason Smith running 1-2.
Yes, they are. Mason T. Smith, this first time he's led tonight, ain't it?
It is. He's been up in that lead group all race, but first time he's leading.
That's good. And we need some new faces up front, you know, along with the other ones.
Yeah, and this is certainly the race that puts the new faces out front. Anybody could win this race here tonight. It's the great equalizer. It's all about being in the right place at the right time, and it's really one big chess match of a bunch of people who probably don't know how to play chess, but that's how this usually works here at Talladega.
You're right on that, Bubba.
But right now, after green flag pit stops, this lead group is a lead group of 8 cars, which holds name to Eric Driggins, Davey Hendricks, Tommy Amacy, Andrew Mraz, Dylan Miranda, Brandon Ketchum, Cody Fabianic, and Mason T. Smith. Those are the 8 cars in the lead group. And then the next group is the big group with Nicholas Vroman, who's running 9th, and that goes back a few cars, all the way back through Darren Clement, Brandon Fries, Edmonston, Gonzalez, Scott Brooks, Justin Walters, Jake Clarkson, Josiah Strauss, and Adam Novak. So 2 main groups going on right now, the group of 8, and then there's a 3-car tandem of Jerry Glenn, Michael Thwaites, and Nicholas Vroman, but they are quickly being caught by the big pack of cars that go from 12th all the way back to 19th position there from Clement to Novak. But it's soon to become 2 major groups of cars, and they are all running single file right now. Eric Driggins is 8th, just barely holding on to the draft of that group.
Is he going
some good, clean racing here.
Is he going to be able to hang on to it?
And it's all going to depend. Yeah, I think it's going to be close there for Driggins, though. He's about 0.7 of a second outside that group, and he really needs to put his foot to it to hold on to the draft. That's awfully close. He's barely hanging in there.
Yeah, he don't want to lose that draft.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to hold on to it. He just reeled him in pretty quick there. 0.7 of a second or 0.8 of a second-ish is about as far out as you can be and still be able to reel back in, and he's reeled it back in just fine there.
As long as you can fill the draft, you're okay.
Yeah, and he felt it all right. He's right back there, pretty close behind the 55 of Davey Hendricks. That is Eric Driggins there.
You know, Ryan, the only time to wear is when you start slowing down.
Yeah, that is correct. And we just hit lap 30 completed. We're on lap 31. So that puts us at 60 laps to go here from Talladega Superspeedway as the field gets ready to complete lap 31. So still a good ways left in this race, as we have 2 main packs of cars running right now, and what has been, since the first wreck there that we saw on lap 2, it's been clean and green since. And these guys have been racing really smart and just been single file cruising, just waiting for this race to come down to the close, which is usually how this race goes. You just want to set yourself up to be in position at the end here at Talladega.
Yeah, man, we still got a bunch of laps. I mean, there ain't no need in getting up there and mixing it up and wrecking and tearing everything up right now. Just stay calm and stay behind the driver in front of you until you get time to make a move.
That is exactly right. You got nothing to rush. You got all the time in the world here.
That's for sure. Plenty of space, too. You know, sometimes, Pat, the best move is no move. Ain't that right, Ryan?
Yeah, that is right. Just chilling out where you are. I looked away for a moment, but we got battling going now between this group that was calm and the guy that was making a lot of moves, Cody Fabianic. He is making a move to the top with Tommy and Macy there, trying to make something happen here. As that top line, we know it's fast, and maybe Fabianic wants to be up there leading.
Yeah, that 42 better not get out of that draft, because he'll be hooking up with them back there behind him.
Yeah, he really needs to hold on, and he's hanging right there on the edge just by his fingertips. He is hanging on to that draft, and as these guys battle, that group of 3 cars behind them is actually kind of reeling them in. They've been staying single file really well and been gaining on them as Dylan Mirando just moved out of line. It looks like he might even be just choosing to fall to the tail of this group here as Macy and Fabianic try to make a move for the lead on Mason Smith as they come to put Edward Morris an 8th lap down, which he is currently running 22nd, only ahead of Donnie Lee, who we saw crash out just a few laps ago. Well, but there goes Edward Morris, another lap down.
The 42's lost the draft, too. I believe he's waiting on them to catch up with him back there.
Yeah, he's certainly got nothing to worry about now because he falls off the draft. Only a second behind him now is that group of 3, which that group of 3 is only going to be faster with him in it. And the other thing is that group of 3 has actually got some of his teammates at Apocalyptic Motorsports in it. So that group of 3 needs help to catch this lead group, and I think that might be why he is waiting on them there, is because that very reason that they are all teammates.
I wonder why that Morris is hanging high. Has he got bad damage?
Yeah, he's got so much damage, and he's just so far off the pace that he's kind of forced to just chill out toward the top of the track because his car's so much damage that he's kind of just in the way if he's on the bottom of the track.
I hate that for him.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for a driver who is so deserving of a good run, and he's going to be towards the back of the field here for this one. He's kind of hit that point of no return as Brandon Ketchum. We see him just clear the lead over Mason Smith. He's hit that point of no return. 8 laps down is a gap that you just cannot make up, not just to win the race, but to even finish on the lead lap. He's going to need carnage from a lot of guys that he needs to crash, which is something you try not to hope for as a driver, but at the same time you do. You hope for the guys that are with you in the points to have a bad day because you need to get the points that you're losing here from a bad run.
That's for sure. The 42 got behind them just then.
Yeah, the 42 did fall in line behind the group of 3 of Glenn, Thwaites, and Vroman as the battling for the lead between the now group of 7 has gotten pretty good. Mason T. Smith right up against the wall with help from Fabianic. He's trying to get around Ketchum, and he does, but Cody Fabianic is all alone on the top line, and he's been running up front all race, and he's going to actually get given a hole. Andrew Mraz backed off there and let him in line, and that puts Fabianic in 3rd right behind Ketchum there as they're putting Don Kidder 1 lap down right now. Don Kidder will now be in position for the lucky dog if we do get a caution because he and Jake Clarkson are both 1 lap down. Jake Clarkson currently running in that 2nd group, which has now fallen almost 20 seconds behind the lead group. So one thing that will get very interesting is that if we do go green flag for that long of a time and that 2nd main group gets caught by this lead group, that could shape up for some very scary racing, to say the least.
Yes, it can, and we got Brandon coming, trying to come back to the front.
Yeah, Ketchum's got help from Fabianic there on the top, trying to get around Mason Smith, and Ketchum is going to easily clear. He drops down before Fabianic can clear, and now Cody is stuck on the outside, and now he's going to get help from Tommy and Macy in the 05. Looks like Andrew Mraz wasn't so nice this time around. He doesn't give Fabianic the hole, but Fabianic might not need it because he's going to get help from the 05 of Macy on the top line and the lap car of Don Kidder, who has been able to hold on to the draft of the lead pack. And he's right there on the outside trying to help that group on the top.
But he's helping them too.
Oh, he is. He's going to try to get Mason Smith clear here out of turn 4. Mason Smith is on the outside trying to clear Brandon Ketchum into the tri-oval. Mason Smith with Cody Fabianic on the outside. Mason Smith is very clear right now. He just hasn't dropped to the bottom yet. And looks like he's going to choose not to. Going to hold that top line. He's still got Fabianic behind him.
Andrew Mraz, he's on the same lap, ain't it? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Andrew Mraz, who's been kind of chilling out with Davey Hendricks at the very back of this lead group. Now that so many cars have jumped to the top line, they've kind of found themselves at the bottom, right towards the front here at this lead group. Mraz and Hendricks both have just been hanging out right at the tail end of the lead group, and now they're looking for the front of the lead group right now as they're pushing very strong on that bottom line. Looks like a Macy drops to the bottom also.
I tell you what, you got some good drivers on the bottom down there.
Yeah, some really fast race cars there, and they're pushing each other hard. Mraz is actually clear into second right now over Mason Smith, and man, that top line, which has been fast all night, it kind of showed a little weakness there on that attempt to try to make their way to the front.
Yeah, Mason, he thought he was going to get up there in front, but they didn't push him hard enough.
They didn't. Mason and Cody really struggled there, which is interesting because we've seen two cars be able to pass that entire outside or that entire inside line from the outside here already, and that time they had a lot of help and it just didn't work.
It sure didn't. Tommy and Macy.
Andrew Mraz and Davey Hendricks did a great job there on the bottom pushing each other.
And Tommy and Macy's right there up behind Davey Hendricks.
But Brandon Ketchum, Mason Smith, and Cody Fabianic, I think, are the three guys we can all say have led most of this race. Pole sitter Dylan Mirando, maybe Andrew Mraz, Davey Hendricks, Tommy and Macy. Those guys have just been chilling in the back of the lead group all race long, and I think that's a strategy that might work out well here. In the end, it's not about leading all these laps in the middle of the race. It's about being there at the end, and that's what they're planning on doing. Is Mirando, he just wants to be there at the end. And then again, he might also be just thinking big picture, championship, and if he wants this championship, he might just need to survive with a good finish because there are guys out there who are having bad ones. And we got a crash here, right? That 99 car, I thought I saw something going on. That was Mason Smith just went around with Cody Fabianic.
Sure did.
No caution again, though, as they spun off into the pit lane area.
Oh, that ain't going to be good. Pat, I'm sorry about that.
It was actually Fabianic and Smith, I think, were on the top line, and they might have been trying to pit, but they were on the very top of the track, and they did pit. But it was Mason Smith and Fabianic. They actually both got into each other and spun there on their way into pit road.
Well, Tyler, we ain't had no great big old wreck yet.
Yeah, no big one yet. We've had a couple small ones, and right there, both cars synchronized spinning down the pit lane, Smith and Fabianic, as they tried to pit. What was interesting, they were on the top line when they tried to come down pit road, and man, that was just a big mess. We got more guys coming down pit road. Brandon Ketchum coming down pit road just plowed into that pit wall coming to a stop. He completely missed his box and hit the inside wall, and this is going to shake up that field even more as we got a ton of cars coming down pit road.
Brandon. This one right here, Smith hit 13 a while ago when he was coming into the pit. He turned to 13 first.
Yeah, that was a big mess of a pit entry between the 13 and the 99 there. They're still together, but man, that was a real big mess they had as they made their way down pit road.
Now I'm looking at Don Kidder and Mason Smith back there running. No, that's 27, ain't it?
That's Dylan Mirando, the leader, who actually has yet to make a pit stop. And Don Kidder is a lap down. So those two just have not come into the pits yet. Also, Nicholas Vroman, Michael Thwaites, and Jerry Glenn are together. Eric Driggins, that group of four, they're still together without pitting. Tommy Macy, Davey Hendricks, Ketchum, and Mraz just came in the pits. And we're still waiting on a few guys. Here comes Mirando all by his lonesome. Actually, he's got that group of 4 cars behind him coming in. So a group of 5 cars, Apocalyptic Motorsports affiliated cars all together coming down pit road.
Don't ask me to say that.
Yeah, it could be a tongue twister at times, Apocalyptic Motorsports.
I couldn't say it, I don't think.
As all 5 of their cars that are together have made their way down into pit road, that's going to give the lead. Actually, no one yet has been able to take it. I'm looking at Brandon Ketchum. Oh, we got a crash. We got one car spinning down in turn 4. That's Tommy Macy.
Oh,
which there is no one around him. I think we're still going to stay green. No caution. Man, we've seen a lot of crashes without caution here, which is very interesting.
Been a bunch of single spins.
Yeah, Tommy and Macy there all by his lonesome in turns 3 and 4. I did not catch why. It looks like he came down and got into the door of another car there in turn 3. That car turned over and went back on its wheels, and he's out of this race. That car's destroyed as he comes down pit road. Here is a Macy, but man, that's a lot of crashes we've seen in this run, but no cautions as we just passed the halfway point of this race.
I'm telling you what, buddy, he sure clobbered that wall, didn't he?
Yes, he did, as Brandon Ketchum has just reclaimed the lead with Mraz and Hendricks in the 21 and the 55. Those 3 cars are together 1, 2, 3. Leading this race in 4th is Dylan Mirando in the number 27 car. There's a pretty big gap, though. Those 3 cars have kind of taken off, and they're all on their own now.
Can you see the track temperature there, Ryan?
The track temperature, it's cold because we're in the late afternoon. It's a bit cloudy out. The track temperature is 80 degrees, partly cloudy, and 71 air temperature right now.
80 degrees there, Tyler.
It's a pretty cool track here tonight. A lot of grip, which if the track temperature were higher, tire wear and grip would be much more of an issue than it is here tonight. And we've seen a lot of different calls when it comes to taking tires or not. And right now, Dylan Mirando and Davey Hendricks are 1-2, and Donnie Lee and Tommy Macy are both out of this race now, and that's going to be another position for Edward Morris. That's going to put him up to 21st here in a couple laps once he passes Edward Morris on the racetrack.
Yeah, Edward ain't having no good night.
No, he is not. He's just trying to get what he can here out of what he can get here, being 9 laps down.
It ain't cold here, Pat. It's hot in here.
But this race certainly calming down right now, as every pit stop we have, the more the field spreads out.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's a 3-car group of Ketchum, Hendricks, and Mraz. They are 1, 2, and 3. As the next group is a little further back, 8 seconds back actually. That is Mirando and Vroman and Driggins and Jerry Glenn, Michael Thwaites. They're all in a group down the back straightaway into turn 3. And then there's another group that's consists of a few more cars. They're further back.
I'm looking at Strauss there. He got about 4 or 5 with him, and they're catching up with. I don't. He got a bad car tonight, buddy.
Yeah, and actually, we just had another accident that I just noticed. It was Cody Fabianic actually got into the back of Mason T. Smith down in turn 2. Both those cars got into each other, spun down to the inside, hit that inside wall, really hurt both of those cars, but yet again, no caution. Both of those cars, especially Fabianix, is destroyed there on the back straightaway. Both of those cars are really hurting now, if they weren't already, because they wrecked together coming into the pits, and they wrecked together on the back straightaway.
I'm looking at that replay. I don't see it yet.
It happened a few laps ago. I noticed, actually, the smoke on the back straightaway. I was trying to figure out what happened. I noticed Fabianix had an issue, and he was down in pit road, and that car is killed.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, so I'm going to come back up here.
That was a pretty big wreck there.
Yeah, it was. How's it going, Roy?
So the 99 of Mason T. Smith still on track after that, but the 13 of Fabianix we saw running up front quite a bit, which was a great run for him. He hadn't led so many laps all season, and he got a bunch in tonight, had some real great run. Had a real great run going all night long, and got unlucky there at the end with that accident. That pair of accidents, actually, with the 99 car, Mason Smith, who was also having a great run.
Yeah, he was. What's happening to what's happening to him now?
He, I think, is out of the race because he crashed hard there on the back straightaway, the 13. 99 car's still hanging in there, though, but he's a lap down.
Oh, look at that 55. Davey Hendricks is getting he's trying to get around Brandon there.
Yeah, he's getting a little antsy right there in second spot. He's trying to get 2 wins in a row. I'm sure he's upset he's not in the chase. That's Davey Hendricks, because he won and didn't just win, but he dominated last week at Watkins Glen, and he's in a really good spot here tonight. And if he does well, man, he's certainly been the best driver over the course of the last 2 weeks so far, and he's unfortunately not in the playoffs, even though he's been the best out of anybody these last 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what, he led every lap last week but one.
That was something, all right. He had about all but 3 or 4 cars, I think, at the end put a lap down, and that's at Watkins Glen. That's an unbelievable feat for the 55 car.
He was a minute in front of him, Ron.
Yeah, I think he had more than a minute of a gap between first and second. That was a very impressive race by Davey Hendricks. He had no competition all night long.
63 seconds.
Yeah, that was more than impressive. And I think we can easily say who's the best road course driver out of everyone in this field is Davey Hendricks. Qualified on pole, fastest in practice by over a second in both of those, and won the race by over a minute with no issues all race long. That is impressive.
He didn't have no issues because he kept his car clean. Hey, couldn't nobody get no around him.
I know, no one was even close to him, so he had no one to bang doors with or anything. It was just himself that he had to beat, and he sure did.
I know he had one close call when they was coming back out on the track after the pit stop, but that's the only time he didn't lead the lap.
Yeah, he did make quite the wreck avoidance at one point, and yeah, the only lap he didn't lead was because someone stayed out for an extra lap or two early in the race, and when it comes down to it, he led every green flag lap during that race. The only ones he didn't lead were during green flag pit stops, so he basically led them all. He had no competition. After he made it through turn 1, he was clear and clean sailing for the whole race.
He didn't look back, neither.
He didn't have to. They weren't even close enough for him to see in his mirror.
But I tell you what, Ryan, next week will be different.
Yep, coming up to the bunch of short tracks. The mile and a quarter, high banked and flat tracks. And very similar tracks Gateway and New Hampshire are. And if there's somebody that can show strength at a flat 1 mile track like New Hampshire and like Gateway, they might be able to get themselves an edge here in the chase coming into Dover, the season finale, where we'll crown a champion for the K&N Pro Series here, ExtremeMotorsports99.com.
Yeah, we got 55 of Davey Hendricks trying to get ahead. Well, he peeked outside of Brandon there, but here he goes again.
Yeah, he keeps on sticking his nose up there. And, man, this time he stuck more than his nose up there, and he's going to fall to the back of this field and give second position to Andrew Mraz. And not trying to jinx anything here, but we've had one caution, and it was off the nose of the 21 of Andrew Mraz. He turned the 29 of Brandon Fries around on lap 2, and that was a very interesting moment there as Mraz got into the back of him and turned around in the corner. Hopefully Mraz learned from his mistakes and doesn't do something like that again, and he can hopefully just stay off the back bumper of the 41 car here and take it easy, because if he just runs as he runs, he's got it made, and he's got a good finish locked up right now if he can just hold on to it. But knowing how Talladega works, when people start getting antsy here later in this race, we're bound to have ourselves a caution.
Boy, I'm telling you. I think Andrew, I believe, like you said, he needs to sit right there until it gets a little bit later on into the race.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any reason to pass Brandon Ketchum here in the 41. And speaking about Brandon Ketchum, he was very strong at the beginning of this season. And when we saw more of these faces that are doing well, like Mraz, like Gonzalez and Morris and Vroman join in, he kind of fell off a little bit. He was very consistent over the course of the season, a top 10 car every week. And he almost actually had a top 10 every single race this season. But later in the season, he fell off a little bit. Last week, we didn't see a ton out of him. And he's 9 points right now outside the championship lead. But this week here, Talladega, he has absolutely dominated this race. And it's been really strong showing there for Brandon Ketchum. And it's his first real good race in a while. And, I mean, it's Talladega, so it's still a while to go. Anything can happen. Not trying to jinx him, of course, but he's doing really well here tonight.
Well, Andrew, don't back off on him a little bit in them turns, or you're going to have a bad night.
Yeah, he's hoping Mraz doesn't repeat history that we saw earlier in this race, and he's just hoping that Mraz will chill out right behind him and at least wait to make a move. I mean, obviously Ketchum would love if Mraz never made a move, but I don't think Mraz is going to make a move at one point here if this stays as is.
60 laps coming up.
Yes, sir. We got 59 completed. Still 31 laps to go. And 31 laps where we could still see another crash, and maybe a crash that'll bring out a caution, because since our first caution early in this race and now, we've seen multiple crashes, but they've all been out of the way and no caution. Man, as Scott Brooks just pulled over, and man, he almost got run over by Davey Hendricks. And Davey Hendricks is going to hold on to the draft, though, in that 55 car. And he's got John Gonzalez, who's a lap down in 14th, right behind him. And Davey Hendricks is going to probably charge up here to the 21 and the 41 with a huge run, and maybe he'll be able to make a move here on him, as here come pit stops. The top 3 cars are coming down pit road. Ketchum leads, and Mraz is actually going to get around Ketchum here. He had a better drive down into the pit lane.
Man, they come in fast.
Yeah, they come in, go from 190 all the way down to 55 as they come into the pits. Top 3 cars came down into pit road. That second group of cars stayed out, so give the lead temporarily to Dylan Mirando as they stay out for another lap. John Gonzalez and Scott Brooks are in the pits. But the top 3 cars come on in. Brandon Ketchum takes fuel only. So does the 55 of Hendricks. It looks like Mraz might have taken 2 tires, so he lost a little bit there, but he is still right there behind the 41 car of Brandon Ketchum. And while we say that, they're on their way out of the pits. The lead group is now Driggins, Vroman, Mirando, and all these guys. And this group of 5 was running faster than that lead group, and it was a matter of time till they caught the lead group, but it's looks like that's not going to happen because they ran out of time until pit stops happen. So I'm expecting to see this lead group come in soon, and for the first time tonight, Nicholas Vroman, who has the most wins on this season, 4 victories, currently 4th in the point standings, only 3 points out of the points lead. He leads over Eric Driggins, Dylan Mirando, Jerry Glenn, and Michael Thwaites, which is your 5-car lead group right now after the top 3 come down pit road.
That's right. Get you another blanket there, Pat. Stay warm. I'll
Looks
tell
like
you
we
what.
got that back group of cars that was running toward the back about 40 seconds out the leaders. They just made their way into pit road all together. That's Brandon Fries, Justin Walters, a couple other cars in that group, including Josiah Strauss, Adam Novak. They all just made their way into the pits together. They have been running just a little ways ahead of what has been the lead group all night long here, and they look good right now. All clean coming through pit road.
Be right back. I gotta go to the restroom.
Edward Morris just went another lap down. He's now 11 laps down, running 20th. He got around Fabianic and Amacy, who are two guys that were involved in accidents more recently, as this group of cars is still out on the racetrack here. This group of five, they're stretching out the fuel as long as they can, as we still got less than 30 laps to go in this race. But this race with Edward Morris finishing in the back as is more than likely to happen. Looking like it's going to be a good run here for everybody but Edward Morris, as Driggins and Mirando and Vroman are all having great nights there, who are the next few guys in the point standings. But it's still Nicholas Vroman leading Eric Driggins down the front straightaway. They're going to stay out another lap here, as Vroman ticking off the laps here in this race. This time by will mark 26 laps remaining, or 36 laps remaining, as a matter of fact, in this race.
I'm back. Went fast, didn't it?
Yeah, with the lack of cautions, the surprising lack of cautions, especially after seeing a crash on lap 2, I thought we'd be sitting here doing a little bit more of I-pacing than I-racing. But we've been pretty clean since.
Yeah, you know, we ain't seen the big one.
Yeah, all it takes is one spin and a caution just to bunch these guys back up, and then we're in store for that big one that's bound to happen. But we don't see another caution. I think we might even be able to get through this. The chances are getting bigger and bigger as the laps count down of maybe not seeing that big crash that we've all been expecting. We've seen our fair share of accidents, just been lucky to not have any cautions, and they've all been out of the way, out of harm's way, and we haven't had a caution in a long time here in this race.
Yeah, just a single spin's all we've been seeing, really.
Yeah, a lot of single, two-car, maybe three-car accidents at most, and still without caution here for a while, as this lead group is catching up to another group here, getting ready to maybe pass them. But this lead group still needs to make a pit stop, but it's such a big group they're making. Oh, and actually, as I say that, here they come. Vroman, Mirando, Driggins, Thwaites, and Glenn are all in together down towards the pit lane. Vroman leads Driggins, Mirando, Glenn, and Thwaites down the pit lane here. Vroman is going to be the first one in his stall. And it looks like everybody's clean getting in. And we're going to see how they come out together and how they come out compared to the second group, which is Brandon Ketchum, Andrew Mraz, Davey Hendricks, and the lap car of John Gonzalez in a group of 4. That was the leaders before pit stops. And they're rocketing down the tri-oval right now. And I think they're going to be able to hold on to the lead here over that group of 4 cars now. And they're going to. They passed them down into turn 1.
Dylan Mirando beat them all out. I don't know where it's going to put him.
Yeah, Mirando, he'll end up in 4th, I think, because the 3 cars that pitted earlier got in front of him. But actually, Brandon Ketchum, he must have taken no tires or something, because he came out way ahead of the group that he came in with. And he's up there with that lead group. Actually, he was already with that lead group. That lead group still remains as is, except Nicholas Vroman has actually lost touch with that group. That's where that missing driver went. There was 5 when they came in. Now there are 4 with that lead group, and those 4 have actually turned into 2 groups of 2 with a hard-charging group of cars behind them. So that fanned things out a little more than it already was, because Nicholas Vroman had a very slow pit stop and has lost touch with that group, and he's all on his lonesome right now in the 3 car.
I'll tell you what, he was leading it a while ago.
He was, and bad pit stop there, and he lost touch with his drafting buddies, and that's really ruining his chances right now. He's going to need something big to happen for him to get back in touch with that group.
Play it before I'm running there. Oh, he ain't in that group I'm looking at.
Now the lead group of 4 right now is 3 lead lap cars and 1 lap down car, with Ketchum, Hendricks, and Mraz in the lap car of John Gonzalez.
Boy, I tell you what, Nicholas is where he don't need to be right now.
And they just caught a group of 3 lap cars who are all over the track right now. Mraz is going to have to find his way around them. They're finally going to move up to the top of the track. That is Clement and one other car there. I think it's the 71 at Edmonston who are going to get out of the way. And they might actually be able to join in with that group if they're up to speed, and that will make that lead group even bigger. And the more amount of cars you have in a group, the faster you'll be.
There's Darren Clements back there, and he's in 19th.
Yeah, Darren Clement, he's the one that just got passed there with Edmonston. So, a rough night for Clement.
Yeah, we got a couple of them blinking out there. Don Kidder's by himself too there.
Yeah, he's been having a rough night. He's a lap down right now in 15th position. We saw him up there earlier, though.
Yeah, he was up there earlier.
Coming by this time will be 20 laps to go in what's been a green flag freight train single file race for the most part here tonight on OSR Network. And it's going to get real interesting here in about 10-15 laps. When guys start wanting to make moves, it's going to get real interesting. Or if we get a caution, it'll get real interesting when these guys get bunched up again.
You know, Brandon Fryer, he ain't lost or gained with that bad back end, you know it?
Yeah, he was involved in the early accident, and he's still been able to hang in there. He's in 12th, and it's pretty good for being involved in the crash early. As Davey Hendricks is just going to ride right behind Andrew Mraz. But 3 cars are on the lead lap out of this group of 5 here. Ketchum, Hendricks, and Mraz. And the second group is 4 lead lap cars. That is Mirando, Driggins, Glenn, and Thwaites. And then Vroman is all on his own there in the 3 car. Losing multiple seconds per lap because of how slow his car is right now with no drafting help.
Man, I tell you what, I feel for Edward Morris.
Yeah, it's a real rough night for someone that, like I said, doesn't deserve a bad night. Edward Morris, and he should be running up front like he does at every other racetrack, every other week. And unfortunately for him, this is going to be a really bad points night for that 7 machine, all because of a lap 2 accident, and we have not seen one since.
Jerry Glenn right there in 6th place, and Eric Driggins right in front of him. Dylan Mirando right in front of him. They're close to the front.
Now they're just sitting where they are, about 6 seconds off, and they're going to need a caution to be able to have a chance to win this race, because as they run, as long as everyone can make it on fuel, I think we might need one more stop for everybody. At least this front group of 3 for sure, but at least this front group needs to pit one more time, I think. But maybe everybody will have to see how things pan out with fuel mileage.
Man, I tell you what, I know how that feels right there, being that far behind the leaders. You get out of that draft, you lose.
Yeah, being in a small group, you lose a lot really fast. And speaking of that, Nicholas Vroman, who was leading the race not long ago and lost touch with the draft in that last set of green flag pit stops, he is almost going a lap down here soon.
He got one with him. He got John Gonzalez. Is that John? No, that's 94.
Yeah, the 94 car actually just got up to the 3 there, but that 94 car has some damage. He's been off the pace. They're about to pick up Adam Novak also, but those two cars have been struggling, and it's still a very slow group compared to that lead group, which is flying around the track right now.
I don't believe Adam's going to mess with them. Yeah, he's going to fall in behind them. You know, Nicholas Bowman, he's won, what, 2 or 3 this year, ain't he?
He has won a whopping 4 races this season, and he's actually the only driver all season long to win multiple races, and he's won not just 2, but 4 races. That's very impressive numbers from Vroman.
Boy, I'm telling you, he drives a fast car, but right now he's in trouble.
Yeah, he needs a caution fast because he's going to end up in this lead group battling for the lucky dog. As speaking of lead group, here they come. Leaders coming down pit road, including that group of lap cars that were with them. That's Mraz, Hendricks, and Ketchum in the pits. Give the lead to Dylan Mirando and Michael Thwaites and company. Dylan Mirando, Eric Driggins, Jerry Glenn, Michael Thwaites 1st through 4th now, as pit stops commencing again here under green at Talladega with 15 laps to go.
Time running out, boys.
I'm curious to see if these guys can make it on fuel, because this group of 4 pits a lot later than the group of 3 does in the lead, and I'm not sure if they have enough to make it to the end. I really don't think they do, but if they do, that's going to be a huge difference maker. It's going to come down to this group here of 4 drivers, and no, they're coming in right now. Actually, they're coming in early this time. Here they come, this group of 4 coming down pit road, and this is the difference maker, is this pit stop right here.
Boy, he was hot coming in there, wasn't he?
Mirando, Thwaites, Driggins, and Jerry Glenn, 4 playoff drivers that have been working together all race long, come down pit road together again. This is the advantage of having teammates at a restrictor plate race. You're not having to worry about being the only one coming in the pits and being all alone. You've got friends to talk to and friends to be together with, and you've got buddies when it comes to drafting and pitting together. And they had a really fast pit stop there. They are hauling butt trying to get out of pit road as fast as they can, as that group of 3 cars is on their way out of pit road right now. Someone's going to have to give here as Mirando and Glenn are side by side. Glenn checks up. Mirando pulls out in front of him. And that group of 4 is coming by him real fast right now, and these guys are trying to get all they can on exit to the pits. Give the lead right back to the 41 of Brandon Ketchum, but Dylan Mirando and company, they aren't all that far off of that group there as they come out of the pits. They don't have all that much work to do, and they've got more cars than that lead group does, and a lot more fast cars than that lead group does, and they might be able to catch up here before this is over, but they're going to have to do it fast because we're coming to 13 to go here, and we only got 3 lead lap cars that have got a chance at it right now.
Yeah, do you see Brandon just saying get out of whack?
Yeah, Brandon Ketchum was kind of squirrely there for a second, but he's kind of back in line. He's got Davey Hendricks all over his back bumper there in the 55 car. And you got to remember, out of the top 3 cars of Ketchum, Hendricks, and actually those are the only 2 lead lap cars in this front group. I'm not sure what happened to some of these guys. I think it was one other car that was with them. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 41, the 55, and the 21 of Mraz. It looks like Mraz had an issue of some sort. He's fallen way back. So now it's just Ketchum and Hendricks. I missed what happened there to Mraz. He's way back in the 8th position, 13 seconds off the lead lap, or off the lead car. So now it's just 1 and 2, Ketchum and Hendricks, and then 2 lap cars of Gonzalez and Edmonston behind them. They're just single file. And they've got nothing to worry about other than that second group catching them, which may or may not happen here. Eventually, by the end of this race, they've got 3 seconds. They need to gain about 2.3 seconds before this comes to an end to get in the draft of that lead group. And once you get in the draft of the lead group, you're there.
I'm telling you, Brandon having a hard time with Davey there. Davey's pushing him hard.
Yeah, Davey does not want that second group to make it to him. Davey just wants to be able to be the one guy who has the decision to make the move. And he's going to the top right now. He's just got to tuck in behind that 41 and push right now. He's got to push with all he's got. Just don't make a mistake and push in the corners, because that would prove fatal to the both of them.
He backed out just in.
I'm going to look right here to see how much that second group gains. They were 3 seconds flat. They gained half a tenth of a second that time by, which is not enough. You need to gain more than that every time by to have a chance at the lead here, because half a tenth of a second per lap, that won't get them within 2.5 seconds before this thing is over. So they need to find something out here to get some speed. These guys are pushing as hard as they can. They need a caution or some miracle to get back to the lead group.
Yeah, these 4 right here had pulled off and left them other 2.
Yeah, they've kept this pretty good gap here all race long. It's a 3-second flat gap. I'm going to look at it as we come by again. This is to take 10 laps to go in this race. So right now it's looking like it's going to be either Ketchum or Hendricks, because this second group, this time by, they actually gained a ton of time. They gained a full second just that lap. Man, they found something that time by. They got 1 second on Ketchum and Hendricks, and because of that, they're only 1 second away. If they can gain that much again this time, they could be right there and in the draft. Man, this isn't over yet. It's going to be a 6-car show, I think, here.
Well, there they come. I'm telling you.
They are hauling tail right now. They are in the draft of those 2 lap cars at the tail of this pack. And once they get here, they're going to come in here with an unbelievable full head of steam. And they're going to have a huge run, and I bet all 4 of them are going to shoot right to the top, and I wouldn't be surprised if they plow right by to the lead. Let's see, right here, they're going to catch them. Driggins, Thwaites, Mirando, and Glenn right to the top. And, man, one of the lap cars of Gonzalez is going to try and block, but they're going to get around Gonzalez, the lap car. And now we've got a show, folks. We got 9 laps to go. And here comes Driggins. He's going to get blocked by Hendricks, but they're going to get around his outside there, 3 wide for the lead. And Eric Driggins flies by him to the lead with Michael Thwaites, Dylan Mirando in tow. They are clear, 1, 2, 3. And Jerry Glenn up there in 4th trying to get by 2, as those 4 cars had an unbelievable run as they came into turn 3. And now they are clear, putting Ketchum and Hendricks back into 5th and 6th. And now we've got 6 cars that are going to battle for the lead here, these final 8 laps from Talladega.
Well, I'm telling you, they was coming up, and they knew where they were going to have to be to get around Brandon, and they did.
Yeah, Hendricks did what he could do when it comes to blocking. You can't get too aggressive because they had such a head of steam, and they weren't going to lift. If they ran into the back of Hendricks, they would have lifted that car right off the ground and spun them out, and that would have been the end of it for all of them. So now we've got 6 cars, nose to tail, plus 2 lap cars at the tail of the field. And, man, it could be any one of these 6 cars. But one of the main things is now these guys have calmed down a little bit. We're coming to 7 to go this time. Once we hit about 5 laps to go, a caution will end the race. So they know when it's that point of no return, you want to be in the lead at all times in those final 5 laps, because if there is a caution and you are out front, you will win the race. And these guys are all close together. Fuel shouldn't be an issue. They came in with about 10, 15 to go. They should be easily fine to make it to the end of this race. No overtime to worry about. Of course, caution ends the race here on iRacing. And, man, Eric Driggins has the lead, but he is in not the good seat here. Right now, I'd say Michael Thwaites is in the catbird seat in the 2nd spot right now, and Eric Driggins is going to have to do everything he can, but hopefully these guys take it easy for at least a few more laps here, but I can't place bets on any of that because these guys are going to be trying with all they've got to win this race. This is coming down to the wire. 6 laps to go for Eric Driggins.
Yeah, Michael Thwaites ain't won one in a while. He needs to get something going there with them two behind him.
Yeah, actually, out of these top 6, there are only 3 wins combined. Brandon Ketchum has won one race. Davey Hendricks won his first race last week, and Dylan Miranda won a race many, many weeks ago. And since then, it has been a season dominated by Nicholas Vroman. But Derek Driggins, Michael Thwaites, Jerry Glenn, all have not won races this season, and all 3 of them are in the chase. Actually, all but one of these guys in the top 6 is in the chase. That one is Davey Hendricks. And, man, speaking of Davey Hendricks, he just got a push from John Gonzalez, the lap car, around the outside of all of these cars on the top. Hendricks is on the outside with 5 to go. A caution at this point might end the race. And they are catching Nicholas Vroman right now, getting ready to put him a lap down. Davey Hendricks, though, with help from John Gonzalez, who, again, he's a lap down. He's not going for the win, is pushing Davey Hendricks down the back straightaway. Nicholas Vroman, the lap car, is up against the wall. He's out of harm's way. He will not be a factor here as they get around him. But John Gonzalez is pushing Davey Hendricks to the lead here as they come out of 4, coming to 4 laps to go.
I tell you what, when they go across that stripe this time, it'll be over if they have a caution.
Yeah, I think this is it right here. Caution will end it once we hit 4 to go for sure. And, man, John Gonzalez got really good push there to the 55 of Davey Hendricks. And Hendricks got to thank that 8 of Gonzalez's. Man, now we're starting to pinch each other. These guys on the top line are really pinching the guys at the bottom, making this really nerve-wracking for these guys. If these slide up just the slightest bit or push a guy a little too hard in a corner, that's game over. Everyone's going to crash, and it's going to be who survives the crash. And I'm not surprised if that's how this race will end. It's who's going to survive the wreck when these guys do it. And if they do crash, I think Driggins is in the best seat here if they wreck behind him. But we're coming to 3 to go this time. Hendricks with help from Gonzalez. He needs a little bit more help there on the top. And I wouldn't be surprised if soon Michael Thwaites is going to make a move in front of Hendricks to try to take the lead.
Hey, you can count on it. I'm sure he will. He got, 3 more laps to go. Michael Thwaites, he's not used to being where he's at right now.
Oh, man, and he just pushed up a little bit in turn 2, and if he made contact with the left front of the 55, he would have been hard right and into the wall, and that would have been it. But right now, I'd say the next time as they're catching a lap car here in a bad spot, it looks like the lap car is going to stay low. Man, Driggins is going to make a move at the last second, and that really screwed up Thwaites because Driggins didn't move until the last moment. Now the 55 of Hendricks has a huge run, and that just shuffled the front of this field up a ton. As now it's the 55 of Hendricks right there coming to 2 to go, and he's got Gonzalez behind him. And that just completely shuffled up this running order here at the front. Thwaites is going to get blocked by the lap car of Gonzalez. I don't know why Gonzalez is blocking because he's a lap down. He's got nothing to run for here as Thwaites finally gets to his inside. Now we got Driggins moving high. He's going to get blocked. Blocking is Driggins, trying to keep Hendricks behind him. Driggins is going to get passed here by Hendricks, but he's got a push from his teammate Thwaites on the bottom.
Wow, man, it's coming down to a battle right here.
Man, Hendricks just cleared him as they door slam, and there goes Hendricks in front of the field. Who's going to miss the crash? And Brandon Ketchum misses the crash as the caution comes out. Brandon Ketchum is the only one that misses the late race crash.
And
I think Brandon Ketchum is going to go from the final position in that group. I think he's going to win this race. Coming to the white and yellow flag. I believe it's not official yet, but Brandon Ketchum leading to the caution flag. And I knew it was going to happen. Blocking and mayhem at the end of this race leads to the caution. Miranda is crossed the line second. Nobody has even crossed the line for third spot yet. We don't know who's finishing where as the field crash. Davey Hendricks is currently scored in third, but still waiting for them to cross the start-finish line to end the race, of course. But I think Brandon Ketchum may have just gotten a miracle to win this race over Dylan Miranda. We're going to have to watch a replay of that one a few times because that was the game changer right there.
He did, Ryan, because my camera went to him exactly when he went across the line.
Yeah, Brandon Ketchum has the lead, and I believe he had it at the moment of caution. So nothing official yet just making sure in case someone gets positions back at the time of the caution. We will have to wait and see. But right now, it looks like Brandon Ketchum might get this race. And I think he should, because he was the only one out of the entire top 6 not to spin out.
Hey there, John Marine. I tell you, if this ends like it is right now, which it is,
yeah,
Brandon Ketchum is the winner, and I know Mama's proud of him.
Yeah, it's official right now. They're crossing the line. Brandon Ketchum in the 41 gets his second win of the season in a thriller here at Talladega. Dylan Miranda is going to get second, and Davey Hendricks is going to end up in the third position in the 55. It's 2 straight good finishes for Davey. Andrew Mraz ended up in 4th. John Gonzalez ended up in 5th. Eric DeRiggins got 6th. Couple cars there involved in the wreck weren't even able to finish, including Michael Thwaites, who's a chase contender, lost a ton of spots, ended up 11th at the end of that race. Same with Jerry Glenn. He ended up in the 12th position at the end of all of that. Wow, what a finish.
Oh, I'm telling you. Congratulations to that fella right there. I want to say a shout out to Sim Speed Shop before we get off the air there, Ryan. They have anything you want in iRacing, the button box, handbrakes, you name it, they got it. Y'all give them a call and check them out. Them some good old boys there. They need your help. We'll talk to them next week. Go ahead and bring them up there, Bubba.
Yes, sir. I'll do the third and second place finishers, and I'll give you the honors to talk to the probably excited Brandon Ketchum here. But first off, we're going to bring up the 55 car third place finisher of Davey Hendricks in just one moment.
All right. Congratulations there, Pat. He's gonna get too much smoke in there. He can't breathe. God, I used to do that in drag cars.
Davey Hendricks, Ryan Gable up here in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Davey. Well, we just witnessed a very exciting finish here at Talladega. You were a part of that final 6 group we had there at the end, and a wild wreck at the finish flopped the whole running order on its head. And what do you think was the difference maker when it came down to it? Was it maybe taking tires at one spot and pit strategy, or was it just luck of the draw there with the wreck?
I mean, I was first when the wreck happened. I finished third, so I can't be too angry over it. I mean, we took fuel and 2 tires every single stop, and it kept us up front ever since the first little bit of green flag pit stop. So I'm gonna chalk it up to that. For me, at least. Other people, after the wreck, they're a little bit farther back, but I lucked out with it.
Yeah, and that was a very odd Talladega race, to say the least. We went basically caution-free. We had 1 caution very early in the race, and we went green the rest of the way. Was that something you expected to happen, or were you expecting more of a caution fest?
I honestly expected to have 1 big one at the beginning. That took out half the field, and then we would go green flag the rest away. I mean, that first caution wasn't a big deal, so I'm kind of surprised we spread out and kept it that way.
Is there any shout-outs you want to make? Anyone you want to thank here tonight?
Both my teammates, Andrew Mraz, John Gonzalez. We finished 3rd, 4th, 5th. We had good runs overall. I'm glad John came back from a lap down to be able to come up and get to 5th.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring up the second place finisher here. That would be Dylan Miranda in the 27. Just one moment. All right, Dylan Miranda, Ryan Gable up in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going, guys?
That's going good up here. We just got to watch an awesome finish. to a very interesting Talladega race. First thing I want to ask is, how did you think that race was going to go? Did you expect it to be that long of caution or that long of a green flag run there during the middle of the race, or did you expect more of a caution-filled race?
To be honest with you guys, going into these things, we try to think about that stuff. Then by Sunday or Monday before the race, it's like it's Talladega. You can pick any strategy, you can think whatever's going to happen, but it can all change in a blink of an eye, literally, and that's pretty much what happened tonight.
Yeah, what was your outlook there of that final accident there? What did you see from your point of view?
Well, from my point of view, it looked like we were about to have a really good finish between the lead pack because the leaders and the second group there we had all played that race absolutely perfectly, and it was shaping up to be an awesome finish, just a dogfight. And I wish some of those lap cars there would have let the leaders race it out instead of I don't want to say they determined the fate, but it definitely had an effect, and it. Depending on which side of the coin you were on, it worked good for you, it worked bad for you. It's just one of those things, I guess. You can't drive other people's cars, but other than that, Apocalyptic Motorsports, we did an awesome job all night. Can't thank my teammates enough. They just between the pit strategy and sticking together, working as a team, keeping it clean, it was awesome. Just wish we could have raced to the green flag or raced to the checkered flag instead of having it end under caution.
All right, that was a great run, and being where you were coming into this race, point standing wise, and the bad night there for Edward Morris, he had a rough night, finished a few laps down toward the back. You more than likely should take the points lead. What do you think your chances are coming into the next few races here?
I definitely didn't want to see Eddie have a bad night because that's my teammate. I was pulling for him, all of my Apocalyptic Motorsports guys, but it just didn't work out for him tonight. I think he had some trouble early on, and that's definitely where I wanted to be coming out of Talladega. If I'm the points leader, I could not ask for much better than that. I got to say Brandon Ketchum, he was right there at the end like he always is. He's kind of like Kevin Harvick, the closer, Mr. Where did he come from? But I've been having some really good finishes here the last 3 weeks now, I think, and it's just the perfect time. I started clicking, and it's starting to gain momentum, confidence. My team's clicking. I definitely say I'm pretty excited.
All right, anyone you got to thank? Any shout-outs you want to make?
Yeah, Anarchy Customs out of Shakora, Pennsylvania. We do all kinds of fabrication, shock packages, anything you want on dirt cars. Look us up on Facebook, Anarchy Customs. Other than that, just want to thank you guys in the broadcast for doing a great job, Extreme Motorsports for putting this on, all my teammates back at Apocalyptic for working well tonight. I think that was probably the best team effort out there tonight, and unfortunately it didn't show, but I think we're going to see this team's strength, and we're going to flex our muscles at the end of the season here to finish this out.
All right, thank you. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Hey, one thing I want to add as well. I don't know if you guys saw my car tonight. I'm running the Susan G. Komen Race for a Cure. I just had my Aunt Kelly pass away, I think 2 weeks ago now, from breast cancer. My grandmother's a survivor. I love seeing all the pink on the cars out there, and hope you guys got a good shot of that. That one really meant a lot. I wanted to get the win, but I'm glad to put that car on the podium tonight. It means a lot to me.
All right, really nice to hear that. We'll talk to you next week up here in the podium, maybe, hopefully.
Thanks. I hope to be back one spot better next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, I'll tell you what, Ryan, that guy was lucky, wasn't he? I hate to hear that about his aunt, but bring that leader up here and let me talk to him.
Yes, Brandon Ketchum, our race winner. We'll bring him on up here to talk to you.
Brandon Ketchum, you got a copy of Tim McBride in the booth.
Hey, Tim, how are you doing?
How you doing, brother?
I could have finished with a cleaner car, but I'm glad the way it played out. I couldn't have asked for much more of a going my way race.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. I was telling Ryan that the good Lord was with you on that one.
Yeah, when I got hit, I was like, I'm just going to keep it in the wall so I don't spin it, and hopefully I've got that number one spot when they freeze those fields, so...
That car handled pretty good all night, didn't it?
Oh, she was on rails all night. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better feeling or handling car tonight. It was just awesome.
You know what? I'm going to start calling you
What's that?
the closer.
That works for me. As long as I'm there at the end, that's all that matters.
Hey, that's what you did, man. You come from the middle and you closed it out, and everybody wondered where you come from. Man, I tell you what, you done a good race there, and I'm proud of you, Brandon. I can't say much on here, you know. People start getting on to me, but you are my friend, and I appreciate you putting on the show that you put on, or the race, man. You got anybody you want to thank?
Where do I start? Start with you guys for putting on for streaming it, hosting it. You know, it wouldn't be what it is without a host, and you guys do an awesome job. Extreme Motorsports for putting on the league. Great group of guys to race around. I want to give a special shout out here to the 55 and the 21, Davey Hendricks and Andrew Mraz. They worked with me most of the race. They were awesome. I appreciate all their help, and couldn't ask for a better couple of cars to be pushing me around the track. So I want a special thanks to them. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Special thanks to Pat T for, calling out that I was going to win tonight before the race even started. I was hoping it wouldn't be a jinx, and well, she was right. So, and just the rest of the fans out there in the chat, my kids, my wife, for all the support, and special thanks to anybody who helps donate to for the cure for breast cancer, cure for any cancer. For that, don't know if you guys saw it on the car tonight, but I was running a Save the Tatas sticker on my deck lid. So, but it was a heck of a race.
Man, I tell you what, it was a heck of a race, man. And then when that last wreck came in, out, oh man, where in the world is he gonna be when it gets through there? But you was in the lead, and just as soon as you crossed that line, my camera switched to you. So maybe we'll talk to you next week, brother, and you have a good one here.
All right, thanks, and I hope to be back on next week and give it all I got on the track. So
there you go. All right, Ryan, give us a rundown of the top 10 there, old buddy.
Yeah, we had quite the finish there, and the scramble of the top 10 at the end. Your winner was Brandon Ketchum, and finishing in the second position was the number 27 of Dylan Mirando. Third place was the 55 of Davey Hendricks. Fourth was Eric Driggins in the 42 car. Andrew Mraz ended up in fifth. Jerry Glenn got sixth. Thwaites ended up in seventh. The eighth position went to John Gonzalez. Ninth position went to the number 14 of Josiah Strauss. And 10th position went to Brandon Fries in the 29 car.
Man, it's been a good race there. I want to say good night to everybody in the chat, and for Extreme Motorsports99.com was a great race tonight, the K&N Series. It's Tim McBrayer, as usual, and y'all have a good night. We're going to neutral now.